Hi there, my name is Horvat Elud, and in this tutorial we're going to model this mug here. We're going to use 3DSMax to achieve this, and we'll help ourselves with this reference image. So we're going to study the shape of the mug and then go into 3DSMax and create it. So before actually jumping into the 3D software, let's take a look at the shape of this mug here. You can pretty much notice that its main base resembles that of a cylinder, so we can use a cylinder to start to model this out of. So let me jump back into Max here. Let's put out a cylinder, and I'm gonna maximize my perspective view, zoom in, and these selection brackets sometimes are bothering me, so I'm just gonna press J to hide them. Press F4 to view my wireframe, and I'm going to go to my modify panel. So before actually going ahead and modeling, we need to decide how many sides and height segments this cylinder should have. So at the moment it's set to 18, but we need to examine our reference picture and decide if 18 will work for us. So if you take a look here, you can see that the mug has some sharp edges going on its side. It has this bit of curve and then sharp edge, a bit of curve, sharp edge again. So we need to take into consideration this sharpness here and model it into our cylinder. So first thing first, I need to count how many sharp edges I got. So I'll start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have 8 sharp edges, and the transition between the sharp edges, it doesn't look completely flat to me. If you take a look here, there's a bit of curve going on. So we need to achieve this curve between the sharp edges, and we're going to use one edge for that, and that means that if we add one edge between the sharp edges, that will be another 8 side edges. So that's 8 plus 8, that's 16 in total. 8 for the sharp edges and 8 for the curve in between them. So I'm going to add 16 here, and I don't need any height segments right now. I'm going to add height segments as we model our mug. So I'm just gonna put this to 1, and I'm gonna rename this to mug, just to keep everything organized and clean. So I'm gonna right click on my cylinder and go to editable poly and open this up. So right now I'm going to press 1, select my vertices, and move this up to kind of achieve the height the mug has, maybe a bit higher. Yeah. So right now I want to achieve those sharp edges before actually going ahead and creating the interior part of the mug. So I'm going to have to select every other edge along the side. So I'm going to jump into my edge mode and go to my selection mode and control select every other edge. I said go to selection mode because you can select in move mode as well and scale mode, but you might move something by accident which you don't want, and that will just mess up your model. So right now I have every other edge selected, and these edges will be our sharp edges. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to chamfer them, and at this moment by default the chamfer tool uses only one chamfer segment, and if I lower this edge chamfer amount to 0 and start to move it up, you can see what chamfer is doing to this edge. It's actually grabbing our original edge and just splitting it into 2, and that's kind of good, but we need that mid edge as well to really define that sharpness. So I'm going to leave this value here, and to achieve that, to get that middle edge back again, I'm just gonna have to raise this segment amount to 2. So right now I have those sharp edges going on there. Before actually chamfering this, I have every other edge selected. I'm going to control click vertex mode, go to my top view by pressing the letter T. I'm going to go to my scale mode and just scale these out a bit to really get those sharp edges noticeable. So now I go back to my edge mode and chamfer it, and maybe increase my chamfer amount, go back to my reference image, and that looks alright to me. So right now, if I go to my vertex mode, you can see that I have these sharp areas, and then I have this curve, a bit of curve going on in between them. If I wouldn't have that edge in between them, it would be completely straight, and we don't want that. We want that curve. So that's why we added an extra 8 edges along the side. So right now, if you press F4 to disable wireframe mode, you can see those sharp areas showing up as you rotate this. So before actually continuing to shape this mug, I'm going to create its interior, and I'm just going to select this upper polygon and inset it. Click inset option box, and these polygons the inset creates are kind of important. They're very important actually, because they define how thick this outer part of the mug will be, this part here. So kind of want to make it something like that. Decrease it a bit, increase it, yeah. So right now we need to extrude this newly created polygon at our top part. I'm just going to jump into my front view by pressing the letter F, and I'm going to go to my wireframe mode, which is F3, and just click on extrude and extrude inwards, and that seems about right. So if we go back to the perspective view, you can see that we got this interior part set up. So before continuing, we want to before actually jumping into creating the handle and all that, we still need to do some work on the basic shape of this mug. And you can see that the outline is not completely straight. It has this curve going on. It's almost completely straight from the mid part to the top part here. But if you take a look at the mid part down to the lower part, it has this taper. So it tapers in towards the bottom, and we want to achieve that taper. So right now I'm going to go to my vertex mode, press F3, and I'll select these vertexes. Go to my wireframe mode, because it's just way more easier to select my vertices like this. And I'm gonna press F3 again to go back to my shaded mode and just scale these in. Not too much, but what looks alright to you. So it's important that you select the inner vertices as well. So that's why I just drag select it. It just selects every vertex in that selection region. So as I said, this mid part towards the upper part doesn't have that much curve going on as this lower part. So right now I want to add an edge loop in the middle to define the shape of this mid part. And there are several ways of selecting these edges and adding an edge loop. You can click on one edge and go to ring, and you need to be careful here, because if you do this, if you just select this edge on the side, go to ring, and then